Welcome back to another episode of STL Real Estate Roundtable. I'm your host, Jaden Barr, CEO and team leader of Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield. And today I'm joined by a very special guest. Rebekah Knox. Rebekah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's dive right in. I start off every episode the same way, which is what got you started in a career in real estate?
Yeah, so I could ramble on for a very long time about what got me started in real estate. I would say as I was younger, I was interested in it for a long time. I used to watch all the HGTV. When I started driving, I used to love driving and looking at houses. I just loved it. And so I had the interest very early on, but I never thought of it like a career path until very early 20s. I thought I was ready to buy a house. Very confident in it. It was so not the time to buy a house. But that was the first time I saw what buying a house firsthand looked like. And you know Brittany Bonds, right? Mm-hmm. She was my agent before I even thought about real estate. So it's funny because we now work together. But she showed me what being a realtor looked like. She just showed up as like a friend. Yeah. And the vision I had of real estate was like realtors would wear a suit and heels and super salesy. And when I saw that, I realized like this felt like I was shopping with a friend. I've always had that like itch or desire to find a career where I can help people. And I realized that's what she was doing with me. I didn't buy a house. It was so not the time, and I'm so glad I didn't. So I kind of wasted her time. But then I realized with my current job, I didn't want to work for a big company. I wanted to have really like control over my own success. So I wanted to help people not work on 9 to 5. I wanted to know that everything I did would lead me to my success and not have control over my own destiny, essentially. Yeah. And that's really it. I mean, just wanting to help people not work that standard job. And yeah, growing up, I just didn't have a lot of home ownership around me. So it was really interesting to me. Yeah.
So I always ask that question because I think very few people just wake up and they're like, I want to be a real estate agent. Yeah. It's like something led them to down that path, whether it was a negative first experience that they're like, I don't want this to happen to anyone else. Right. Or, you know, like you said, you know, escaping the 9 to 5 rat race and controlling your income, controlling your time, things like that. So I always start off with that question because I think it's very interesting to hear the different paths that people have taken to get to where they are.
Yeah, I never, like I said, I had a lot of interest in real estate and like houses and that, you know, on TV, it's totally different than real life in real estate, in my opinion. And it was never even a thought until really I got a taste of what the process looked like and realized I could really do something with that. Yeah. I never wanted to work a job where I would just clock in and can't wait to clock out. Like I wanted purpose.
Watching the clock.
Yeah. Yes, like purpose and feeling fulfilled and just being able to help people and like what I do. And I realized I would get all of that in real estate. Yeah.
So you're full-time in real estate now. What did you do prior? Like what was the role?
Yeah, I worked at a car dealership. Okay. So I was a service advisor for Acura in Manchester I worked there for 6 years. It's funny, I would have never thought I'd be in the car industry. I don't really care that much about cars. And I learned that over time, which it was like, I worked there for the money and like the friends and good company, but I didn't get anything out of it. So as I worked there longer, I realized I need to make a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then what skills from that job or aspects of that role did you carry over into what you do now?
Yeah, so I would say all of my jobs in the past was customer service based. And working as a service advisor, it was really all one-on-one with customers and also handling business at the same time. So I kind of had that. just being good with people. And in a way, I got to help some people there, but it was over their car. Like me telling them what was wrong with the car and then giving them a discount. So I always felt good being able to help people there, but really just people skills. Yeah. That's really probably it. And some sales skills. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you just made the transition to full-time real estate how long ago? When did you get licensed and when did you go full-time?
So I got licensed March of 23.
Okay.
So I've had my license for just 3 years now. And I quit my other job and went full-time in May.
In May. Okay.
Yeah.
So coming up on 1 full year?
Yeah. And it was a big adjustment. It was scary, you know? Yeah.
How did you come to make that decision? Did you have a goal in mind of how many deals you wanted to hit before doing that? Or was it like rip the Band-Aid off, burn the ships?
Yeah, really. I realized as time went on, I was getting busier in real estate. And so at my dealership job, I would work like an 11-hour shift. And I would have 3 days off a week, but I would have clients, and like if their inspections are during a day that I worked, I can't be there, or showings, and it was starting to affect my real estate job. And I wasn't able to dedicate my all in real estate, so prospecting or marketing and stuff, like I just couldn't do. So the way I did it was I set a goal of the amount of money in my savings that I wanted to have to make that jump, because I was not lucky enough to be able to not like have finances come in to pay for bills, because in real estate, when you're new, you don't know when you're going to get paid. So I had a number in my savings account that I had to reach. And then I had to buy a car because I leased through them. So I had to do that.
Okay, there goes that benefit.
Yeah. It was a great benefit, and I had to get rid of that. So saving, bought a car, and then just really once I saw my business increase. But the longer I was there, the more I cared less about that job, and I just couldn't wait to get out of there. So it was because I found passion in real estate, and that's what I wanted to do. So I just cared less about the dealership job. Yeah. And it was just time. And another thing, I saw that real estate could be better as far as flexibility with family. And I knew I'm getting married this year, and
congrats.
Thank you. We are probably going to get pregnant like quickly after that. So I wanted to have a business established for me to be able to make income when I start having a family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been watching your business grow really since you got licensed,
and
it's been fun to watch, and I really believe like you're a rising star in the industry, and so happy you're on the podcast today to share with maybe some other agents that are in a similar position, right? That are just getting licensed that want to get to your level of success. Yeah. So what would be your number one piece of advice for the agent that just got licensed or is, in their first year, maybe they're doing this part-time, like what's your biggest piece of advice for that agent watching?
Yeah, I do think now picking a brokerage is super important. Picking a brokerage with like maybe a mentorship program or just ways that they can help you and give you direction. So, I mean, with me, when I was working part-time, I never went in the office. So the help I got, it was great for me at that time, but I do think that's super important. Like, especially if someone's going full-time, find an office that you can work in and they can help you a lot. But really, I mean, just you have to be consistent and pick a few things that you want to work on to like bring in business and not get overwhelmed with the 20 million things that you can do. Just focus on 1, 2, or 3 things to master. Do that and be consistent, honestly. Like structure. The time blocking thing is real. It's a scary thing that you always hear, but time blocking, showing up, being consistent, and it'll happen.
So what specifically do you time block?
So time blocking, I guess I time block, but I'm not that strict about it. But every Sunday I write out like what I need to get done throughout the week. And every day I do the same thing. So ideally I get in the office by 9. at my brokerage, we do real estate reviews. I send out note cards. So I work on like my prospecting early on. I attend all the like meetings and the classes and any other business stuff I have to get done. I structure it so I do it early in the day, and then ideally if I have appointments or inspections or showings, do it later in the day.
Yeah.
So that's really it. I mean, I'm not too strict on time blocking.
Yeah.
Though.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. What have been some of the challenges with growing your real estate business? And then I'd imagine you've had busy seasons where, you know, you're servicing the business, but you know, what I've found in observing agents' businesses, a lot of times prospecting goes by the wayside whenever that happens, right?
Yes, yeah.
So what would have been, you know, you can speak to that challenge or any others that you've had whenever you've been on this journey?
Yeah, I mean, really my biggest challenge, like me personally, my biggest challenge was battling the part-time to full-time, just because the job I had was so demanding, so I couldn't prospect or do all that stuff like I should have. It was just like, I would do it here and I would do it there. Like it was nothing consistent.
When you could fit it in.
Yes. Yeah. So my other challenge was in real estate, there's so many different things you can do to prospect. I mean, there's like Popeyes, there's mailers, there's open houses, there's social media, there's so much. And in the beginning, it overwhelmed me and like, I didn't know how to do all of it until someone told me pick 3, master those 3 and focus on just those 3. So I think as you're new, you hear all this stuff, see everyone doing all this stuff and it's overwhelming. You just got to pick like a few and master that, you know? Yeah.
So what would you say are your top 3 prospecting sources and then lead sources that you're currently seeing for your business?
I would say, honestly, for me right now, open houses actually has been a big one for me.
Okay.
If I look back on like last year in my business, I think like 30% came from open houses.
Okay.
Social media, referrals. So just staying in touch with like my friends, family, past clients, just my SOI. So that would be my top 3 sources of where like business comes from. Okay.
So you say social media. I think that's a hot topic.
It
right?
is.
Social media, AI.
Yes.
Those are like the top 2 things right now with real estate agents. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, right? Shiny object syndrome of, oh, I should do this and this. And it can be overwhelming.
It was
paralysis
so much.
by analysis, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you say social media, like, is there specific, like, hey, here's what I do to actually generate business from social media? Or is it like, it just comes in, you know, kind of randomly? Like, is there like a system or a tool or a specific strategy that you use on social media?
I would say it's not like there's anything I'm posting that I know business is going to come from. It's not, I don't strategically do it like that. I think just staying consistent in posting and finding out what people want to see, and providing value on social media. Like, you don't want it to be just, you know, every closing you have that picture with the key. Just closed. Yeah. You want to consistently provide value to like your target client. Yeah. So majority of my clients have been first-time home buyers. So right now, some things I do is like focus on showing what buying could look like for renters and why buying might be better than that. I've gotten really good responses on like the video home tours too. So yeah, just kind of learning what people like to see and going off of that.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. I think, I mean, I was in this position probably about 3 years in, probably because you're 3 years in, right?
Yeah.
So I was in a position where like all my business was buyers. Like I wanted more listings. Yeah. And so I was like, how do I get more listings? And so I'm finally at a point now where it's starting to snowball and I'm seeing like my listings be 50% of my business. And so now it's 50-50, which is awesome. And I'm getting like those repeat first clients. They're coming back and buying and selling. And so it's a cool spot to see like that transition in the business and all the work that you did early on pay off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like seriously, last year was my first time I ever got anything from an open house. And I had been doing it since I got licensed. Not like super crazy often, but it's just real estate is that game where like you put in a ton of work and you wait to see any form of like result, and it takes a long time, but when you see it, it just like, it's great. Because you know you did that. Like you put in the effort and it came to you.
Can I share a listing strategy that I heard recently?
Yeah.
So it's called a welcome to the neighborhood letter. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a buyer moving into a neighborhood that you want to get listings from, you go and a week before closing, right, you go around, you door knock the neighborhood and you say, hey, I have a buyer that I'm representing. They're moving into 123 Main Street right down the road. I would love to put a welcome to the neighborhood letter from his new neighbors inside the home on closing day. Would you be willing to sign this card welcoming him to the neighborhood? Right. And then they're like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Yeah. Like, here's my number.
Yeah.
If he ever needs anything, tell him to call from Joe and Susie down the road or whatever. Right. So I shared that in our business meeting a couple weeks ago, had an agent went out and did it that week. She generated 2 listing appointments from that exercise. So,
oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah. That is so sweet.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
And such a value add for the buyer too, because they actually feel welcome. Like they get
and they're
to
like
meet
more
the neighbors.
excited.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh, like how come I have never thought of that?
Yeah.
Like it's so simple.
Yeah. That's actually a really good idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So as far as, kind of vision you have for your business, right? You're coming up on 1 full year in real estate. Kind of what's the vision for this year and beyond?
So just like you, I want more listings. I like the combination. So I had like a certain goal this year of listings that I wanted to do. And this year it's just about, I'm holding myself accountable, staying consistent to my schedule, my time blocking, and ideally, I'm going to double what I did last year.
Let's go.
So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. What do you think is going to be the most challenging part of doubling your business?
Well, the most challenging part about doubling my business, I guess the biggest thing is finding the business, prospecting. But things I'm doing right now, I'm like doubling down on open houses because it was a proven strategy for me last year. I have a buyer's consultation tomorrow from one open house person on Saturday. So it's working for me. So I'm just doubling down on that. I'm going to get in front of more people this year, like coffees, lunches, like any social events, things like that I know will kind of bring more to me. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of being in this industry?
Honestly, it sounds so cliche, but the helping part of it, and then also the flexibility with my schedule. So while I structure my mornings, I can go to work and get everything on my to-do list done by like 12 or 1. And then like go to the gym or like meet a friend in the afternoon. But if there's anything I should be doing for my business, I will. But we have the power to like decide when to start and when to end, and just that flexibility. Because the jobs I've had before, there was no flexibility. It was like all day long. So yeah, helping people and the schedule and just having that control over running everything.
When you look at the business that you've built, what are you most proud of?
Honestly, and it's so funny because I actually had someone reach out to me from my real estate class, and she was thinking about buying a house, and she met with me, and she said, like, as she sat down, she was like, Rebekah, you are such a different person from when I saw you in class. And honestly, just knowing that, I built everything, I've been working on building like my own brand for myself. And everything that people see on social media or like every sale, like is what I did. So it's just cool to look back and see that I started from not having anything or no direction to seeing all of this happen, and genuine good relationships with my past clients and friends. And that's just how I'd like my business to be built, is based on like people that know me and enjoy working with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say who you are is who you attract. Right.
Right.
And so, you want to attract better clients, become a better person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And if you're a good person and just stick to yourself, people will want to work with you.
So you kind of mentioned it, like getting into this industry, all you know is the number of feet that are in an acre. And like, that's all you learn on your tests. Like none of what you study for your exam, you actually apply in the real world. So, you know, you talked about, you know, growing in confidence and things like that from the day you got licensed to where you are now. What were some of the key components of that? And maybe even talk to some of the maybe insecurities or things that were a struggle, like mindset wise, whenever you were just getting started.
Yeah, honestly, like looking back at when I first started school, my journey with getting my license was rocky. I did online classes with Real Estate Express. I don't know why I thought I could breeze through it and take the test. So I did that, took the test multiple times, failed. And then I had to take in-person classes. So I took the class twice. And then I finally passed. And then you pass the test and you're like, what do I do? That's why getting a brokerage that works with you is so important, because you need direction, because the class doesn't teach you how to be a realtor or what your day looks like or what to do. So I had so many challenges. I mean, like I said, juggling all the things they tell you that you can do. And then thinking of it as my own business. I didn't really look at it like that for a really long time. And then forcing myself to do what I say I'm going to do and get up at a certain time, like holding myself accountable. And yeah, those were like the biggest challenges, because you, like for me, switching from a clock in, clock out type job, and then like no one's forcing you to do anything in real estate. Yeah. So you have to be that person to make yourself do it. Yeah.
Yeah. The cool part about this industry is you can quite literally build whatever type of business you want to build, right? That's what I'm so like inspired by anytime I go to, you know, our conferences and regional events and things like that. Is like, you know, you think what you're doing is great. And while it is, you know, you get outside of your own little bubble and you are like, wow, I mean, it's incredible. And not that, you know, I want a business that's doing, you know, 500 million a year and 5,000 units or anything like that. But just seeing like that it is possible is just encouraging. Like, you know, we were just at a conference, there's a $200 million team, and the leader of that team lives in Utah with his family, and the team is in Ohio.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, wouldn't have even thought that's possible. Right.
I know. That's another like huge appealing part of real estate. You can be on the investment side, the flipping side, or get a house and do Airbnb, or then there's agents that like specifically work with people that are retiring. Like we help people in all these life moments. And it's just so different. Everyone's business can look so different than the other person's.
Yeah. And there's enough to go around to fully support everyone's life that they want to live.
It's something that's not going to go away. Like everyone's going to need to buy, everyone's going to need to sell. And that's another intimidating part of getting into the industry, is you think everyone knows like 10 realtors. And there's realtors everywhere. So I know in the beginning, I didn't think. I was like, how, like, or basically was wondering if there's enough to go around, like you said, but there definitely is.
Yeah. What's the stat? Like 70% of agents didn't close a single deal last year.
Yes.
So that just goes to show you, like, do the work, and the work's going to
it's like showing
take
up,
care of the work. The work's going to take care of you.
Being consistent and holding yourself accountable, I feel like is like half the battle.
Yeah. So what are you looking to improve on this year to take your business to the next level?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, the biggest part is getting, and this isn't really something to like improve, but getting more in front of people, like in social events. Cause I mean, I'm social and like I do things, but it's normally with my same group of people.
Yeah.
I need to put myself out there in like many different types. Because the more people you're around, the more connections, the more business you'll have. So that's something I need to improve. I know there's others to improve. That's probably just the only thing I can think of right now.
Do you have any tools or pieces of leverage in your business that are important for like your success right now? Like, are you using AI or any other resources?
I use AI religiously. Like, I don't even use Google anymore. Chat is my bestie. I use her for everything. I mean, even if I've had struggles recently with certain types of buyers that have been difficult. I mean, I've discovered the voice option on there. I just talk to it. I have my chat like trained to give me responses in a certain way and challenge me. So I use it for like everything in real estate. Awesome. But I don't want it to come across as an agent that is using chat for everything on social media, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, but I literally use it for everything.
Yeah.
Like conflict or, you know, negotiation, like just everything in real estate, I use it.
Yeah. I was at a conference last week. It was last week. And there was somebody on stage that said AI will replace the agents that are using AI to replace them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like there is a human element to our business 100%. That we never want to go away. But AI, like anything, is a tool. Just like a hammer's a tool. A hammer can be used to build things, and it can be a tool to break things. Yes. And so you use the tool correctly, it's going to help. Yeah. But, you know, make you more efficient, make you, you know, find different ways to do things and things like that. But by all means, like, this is a people-based industry. Yes. And we definitely want to emphasize that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I know I've seen some posts where people are like leaving the quotation marks in it, like when they copy and paste it, or
the long dashes.
Yes, all the dashes.
The words that you exquisite, like the words you never use.
Like, I know you just use chat.
Yeah.
So you have to add your little twist on it, or even just take what it's telling you and rephrase it, you know? Yeah. But yeah, it's an amazing tool if you use it right.
Yeah. What question haven't I asked you that I should have?
That I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I feel like you've asked me all the good ones.
Okay. What's the most impactful book or podcast that you've read or listened to?
For real estate? Okay. Real estate specific. Have you read the Ninja Skills book? That book is really good. The first half of it really wasn't, though. It was like hard to get through, but the ending was really good. So that was probably my favorite real estate book. I've read a lot of other self-help books, but there's this one, I can't think of the name of it. I see the cover, but I read it in high school, and I think it completely helped me shift my mindset, and it was amazing, but I can't think of the name.
What was it about?
It was like about life. It was targeted more towards women. And like battling things like breakups, insecurities, but then like never settling essentially, and just, you know, you can go for anything you want. So I'll have to find the name and let you know.
Send it to me.
I see it. It's a pink cover, but I don't know the name of it.
Cool. Yeah. Donald Miller, he wrote How to Build a Story Brand. Story brand. And you mentioned, you know, building your personal brand and things like that.
Yeah.
And so my two best branding books would be Story Brand with Donald Miller. And really what he dives into is that every story has a hero who meets a guide, right? That hero has a problem, right? The guide gives them a plan to solve the problem and avoid pain and reach success. So a lot of times I think we as agents, we present ourselves as the hero. Yeah. When really our client is the hero and we're the guide. Right. So we want, you know, I'm sure you've been asked this, like, what do you do? Right. Yeah. And you say, I'm a real estate agent. Right. Yeah. But then the conversation completely dies because that tells them nothing. Right. Whereas saying like, hey, you know how most homeowners today, they feel trapped in their home, even though it's too small for them because of rising interest rates and inflation. Yeah. Well, what I do is I help homeowners access that equity and get into the home of their dreams. Yeah. Right. So that's way more interesting, right? Yeah. So it's a specific problem that you solve, a specific pain point that speaks to the situation that they're in. And then you get to play the guide that gives them a plan on how to reach their goal. right?
Yeah.
So that's Story Brand. And then the other one is Wealthy and Well Known by Rory Vaden. And he talks all about like essentially building your client avatar and then speaking to that through your content. And so that's, those two have been really impactful for personal branding and things like that.
Okay. I'll have to read it. I love to read. I just actually last year I read a lot and this year I haven't started. So I need a book to pick it back up.
Okay. I got you. I got plenty of books.
Okay, sweet.
Do you think audiobook counts as reading?
No.
No?
Well, okay. Just kidding. Well, just kidding. Because I did count one last year.
Okay. So my wife is like, Jaden, that's not reading. I'm like, I'm getting the information. Like, how does this not count?
I understand what she's saying. I really do. And I almost want to agree, but
mine's in the car. Like I'm in the car, I'm listening, and that's my time. Yeah.
I like to have the physical book. I like to read it. Like I don't really want to use like a Kindle or it on my phone. But I did a lot of walking outside last year and I did listen when I was walking and I did count that as a book I read. But it's definitely not the same.
Okay.
So it's kind of like halfway.
Fair enough. Yeah. Cool. So what do you think is going to be the biggest contributor to like your success in 2026?
I think just being consistent with what I'm doing right now. Cause I'm showing up, doing exactly what I say I'm going to do. And all of them are proven to bring me business. Getting in front of more people and just doing what works for me. Cause I mean, when I went full time, it was like, I didn't really know what to work on and I had to, cause it was summer and I didn't have a lot of business going on at the time. So I had to like force myself, like you have to do the work. So now I'm in my groove. I know what to work on. It's showing that it works. So just keeping with that. And then getting in front of more people, I think all of that's going to work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on?
Can I ask about you?
Yeah. Ask some questions. Ask away. Yeah.
So what are your like top 3 prospecting or what's bringing you business? Your top 3 things.
Yeah. So obviously I'm kind of split right now between like the leadership role that I'm in with Keller Williams and then also my own sales business. So what the leadership role has taught me for my sales business, if I could take it that direction, is the importance of leverage. And so finding leverage through people, systems, or tools. And so that allows me to buy my time back and be present at home on nights and weekends with my family, right? Yeah. I mean, family is the most important thing to me outside of my faith. And so being a better husband, a better dad, a present husband, a present dad is the most important thing for me, especially in this season of life right now. And so that obviously, there's 2 kind of hats that I'm wearing right now. But for my sales business, it really is as simple as getting involved in communities that I already enjoy being a part of. And then being the realtor of choice in those communities. So showing up with value, showing up as a friend that's just looking to help and being a resource for people in those communities. So, I new to St. Louis. I didn't grow up here. I didn't go to high school here. And so I started with literally no database, no network, no nothing. And so I always ask that question of like, what are you most proud of? Yeah. And that's what I always go to is like, I've been able to build a successful business from scratch without having any resources or like network to go from. Right. And so,
that's awesome.
I think it's just the communities. I got my first lead from my website this past month, which was interesting. And it's really just referrals from past clients at this point. So
that's awesome.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, we love to like play pickleball. I love to golf. I love, our church community. I love, getting involved in other groups, whether it be the gym or, whatever that looks like. Right. And then just showing up as a resource for those people. Yeah,
that's what it really is. And that's what I mean when I say like, I'm going to get in front of more people this year. Cause I don't have like a lot of extracurricular, like when I'm with people, it's just like hanging out or like girls' nights and stuff like, so I'm making it a point to like get in front of more people just like that, because I mean, that was so many different things that you're a part of, and there's different groups of people in each of those, you know?
And you, over time, I think you find like your VIP past clients that are going to be your raving fans.
Yes.
And like you serve them at such a high level, and then they will not let any of their friends, coworkers, family use anyone but you. Yeah. And like you treat everyone like gold, but like those people you have to really cherish and like pour into, because 100%. I mean, I had one past client, I think she sent me like 7 pieces of business in the last like 3 years. Yeah. And, you know, that is just incredible. Yes. And it's like, that's why I always tell people, like, you're one connection away from completely changing the trajectory of your business.
Oh yeah. Right? It's like your future business is in the business you're doing right now. Yeah. You know, if you do the people you're working with right now good, they're going to send you other people.
Yeah. And that's whether they're $100,000 buyer or $1 million seller, right? There's no telling who their network is and who they could be connected to.
Yeah. I had buyers come to me that had like previously worked with an agent and interviewed others, and it was like they weren't willing to work with them because of how low their price point was. And it's just crazy because while it might be a lot of work now for that low price point, they're going to sell in like 3, 4, 5 years and then they're going to come back to you. Yeah. So it's always just literally be you and be a good person no matter what. Like no matter what you're going to get out of it, and it's going to work.
And also like the buyer on that lower priced property, you could double side that, and then you could be that agent of choice for that investor that's buying 50 homes the next year. So it's like, you truly never know.
Yeah, you never do. One of my open house clients, or like I met them at an open house that I hosted, I think in September. They ended up buying with me, and then they had to sell and his mom had to sell. So I got 2 listings and a purchase off of one couple I met at an open house. Yeah. It's like, you just never know. That's why I treat everyone great and it'll work out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the other piece, I mean, we're always looking to like, I mean, so like I said, social media, AI, hot topics right now. Yeah. The conference that I was just at, there's an agent that's been in the business only 4 years, I think. And last year he closed 120 deals, with 80 of them being directly from his YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I have heard that.
Google owns YouTube. And so with AI suggestions and everything like that, it's going to pull a lot of its data from YouTube, a source that it already owns. And so that is, that was like his area of focus, because he hated cold calling. He hated reaching out to people that didn't know him. And so he's like, how do I get people to call me? And so that was his area of focus, and it was really just like speaking to like his client avatar, the people that he wanted to reach out to. So
yeah, that's awesome. Some people have huge success with YouTube channels, like huge. It's always been a thought, and it seems like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your continued success. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll keep crushing it.
Yes.
All right. We'll catch you all in the next episode.